What's going on, everybody? This is Logan at Vaporleaf, here today with the Tarot Pro mod from Vaporesso. This is an exceptionally slim dual 18650 box mod that can do 5 to 160 watts, all kinds of temp control from 200 to 600 degrees, and it's got a couple other neat modes as well. So let's go ahead and dive down and take a closer look at it. So here we are up close with the Tarot Pro mod. As you can see, it's got a very shiny finish on it. Pretty cool graphic though. Altogether, I think this is really well thought out. You've got your hexagonal buttons, your fire button, your up button, your down button, your mode button, and then your screen that kind of has that hexagonal shape to it as well as the vent holes, which again have that same shape. You've got a micro USB port there for charging and upgrades, and then your 510 up here, which altogether everything is just really clean, well put together, and that is no exception with the battery sled. So you've got this little notch here to get a fingernail in. The magnets are pretty stiff, so it takes a little bit of doing to get the door off. You've even got these little indents inside of the battery door here to make everything slimmer. It's just really impressive. And of course the battery sled is just fantastic, super clean. You've got your spring-loaded connections up here, positive up top, negative up top. It's just really well thought out. So we'll go ahead and pop a couple of batteries in there. Negative up on this side, positive up on this side. We'll get our battery door back on there, and we're booted up. So right now we booted up into the last mode that we had this in, which is apparently the TCR Memory 2. And to change that, we're just going to hold this mode button at the bottom. It's going to go to bypass mode, and then back to wattage. We'll start in wattage here, so simple as turning your power up, turning your power down. As I mentioned, it'll go up to 160 watts. If you hold that button again, we're going to go over to the temp control settings. The temp control settings are pretty standard. We've got nickel, stainless steel, and titanium. But of course we also have those TCR modes if we want to run anything else. If we hold the fire button, or that mod button I mean, once more, we can get to the bypass mode. That basically bypasses any regulation. You're not adjusting the power at that point. It's just firing straight from the batteries to your atomizer. And at that point the resistance of your atomizer is what's going to change the power level. If we hold that mod button one more time, then it brings us back to wattage. Overall, I must say I'm not terribly impressed with the screen. It's not fantastic, it doesn't blow me away, but at the same time, it does its job. It's really easy to see. It shows your wattage, your battery life, for both batteries in fact, always a nice touch, your resistance and your voltage, which is basically everything you need to know. And of course, in the different modes, it shows your temperature and the material that you're using as well. This device does have auto atomizer recognition, so you don't need to worry about locking your resistance or anything. It'll read down to 0.05 ohms and all the way up to 5 ohms. You never really see that. That's actually pretty impressive. I know you don't really see 5 ohm coils ever, but it's just kind of cool that it does that. And before we move on, we've got another little thing to show you. We got the down button and the up button. If we hold those at the same time, it's going to flip the screen. So if you're right-handed, left-handed, you like looking at your device one way or the other way, you can decide. So that's about all you need to know about it there, so let's go ahead and bring it up top and see how it does. So I've got this guy all set up where I like it. I've got my 30mm Buddha on there, reading 0.32 ohms at 160 watts. We got it maxed out, so we're going to see how it does. Wow, that is impressive power output. That is actually 160 watts. You know, a lot of these box mods, they'll say, we'll do 250 watts and with dual batteries. Like, it's not really that possible to pull that kind of power from 2 batteries. 160 watts is a lot more realistic, and it shows. I mean, it really puts power out at 160. Wow, yeah, that is really impressive power output. Now I can see my batteries are already draining. I'm not sure if this is going to be particularly impressive on battery life, but then again, it's 2 batteries at 160 watts. It's not exactly an all-day kind of thing. All in all, I am seriously impressed with this box. I mean, I've just discovered the power delivery is incredible, and the buttons feel nice. Everything seems really well put together. It doesn't seem like there were any afterthoughts or anything like that. It's just a complete product. It does what it's supposed to. Obviously it looks a little bit silly with a 30mm atomizer on there. It's really more intended for 22mm atomizers, which is pretty standard. There are plenty of tanks and RDAs that are 22mm. But I've just got my Buddha on there to test out that power limit. I honestly think this would really be a good device for a pocket device, for a dual battery box mod, that is. Given how slim it is, and how durable it seems to be, I'd say that it would fit in a pocket quite nicely, with the right atomizer on there at least. Of course not the 30mm one. And it wouldn't be too much worse than kind of carrying around an old school cell phone, really. So yeah, that was the Tarot Pro from Vaporesso. If you guys have any questions about it, please feel free to leave a comment. We love talking to you guys. If you like the video, then please leave a like, and be sure to subscribe for all the latest and greatest videos from Vaporleaf. We'll see you next time. Bye.